The other day I remembered this crazy 3D hover effect I've seen on the Linear website a couple of months ago. And of course, I got the urge to recreate it in Framer without writing any code. But there was an issue. They've released a new website and it doesn't really have the effect anymore. So I had to hop on the Wayback Machine and search it up in the Internet Archive because I really had to dig into the code to see how they've done it. And in this video, I'll show you what I found and how you can recreate your version of this effect in Framer without writing any code. My name is Nandi, this is Framer University, and let's get started. So as you can see right here on my screen, they're pulling this effect off with no more than 5 layers. The first one is this simple image, then they have another image of this logo pattern, then we're gonna have a rainbow, another like linear gradient type of thing, and then a radial gradient for like this highlight effect. Like all of these can be created in Framer without any code, natively, no problem. You can see this is an image, this is also an image, but we can, put logos in a frame inside the Framer. That's not going to be too hard. This is, you can see, just a frame with a linear gradient fill. This is another frame with a linear gradient fill. As you can see, it has quite a few points. And then we're going to have this highlight. And the trick will be that we're going to have to place all of these on top of each other. And they're going to have different blending modes and draw up opacities. And if we do everything right, we're going to do something like this. Let me show you. This is the component. And as you can see, if you layer everything on top of each other correctly, you can see this halo effect on the left panel. We have the highlight, the diagonal, and then the rainbow and the pattern and the image as well. So these are the 5 layers that I was showing right here. So if you're layering these on top of each other with the right blending modes that I, by the way, got from the website when I was digging into the code, we get this effect. And of course, this is not going to be enough. So if we just see this is not going to be enough. We have to somehow move these layers when we hover over with our cursor. So they're moving like this, so it is a little bit more interesting. So we're going to do that with a component from Framer University, which is called Parallax Floating. It can be placed in these frames, highlight and the diagonal, and also the rainbow. And yeah, they're going to be basically moving when we hover over with the cursor. And of course, we're going to have to make it 3D so they look a little bit more interesting. Something like this, what you see right here. This is, by the way, the finished design inside the Framer. So for that, we're going to use another component from Framer University. As you can see, it's called 3D Hover, and we can simply create the card to it that we're going to create. So if I connect Wurstel here, you're going to see that it will give it this nice 3D hover effect. So now I'm going to show you how to recreate this, but with like a little bit of a customized version. This is exactly what we see on the old Linear website. And I was like, maybe I just want to show you guys how to make it your own a little bit with like a little bit different design. But the main idea is the same, to create this holographic 3D hover effect for this card. So yeah, let's create this inside the Framer. So basically you're going to find a link in the description. You can remix this whole project that I'm seeing here on my screen, and you can, grab it, put it onto your account and start messing around with it. So go ahead, remix it, and start following along with this tutorial. In the remix, if you go to the left panel and then to assets right here, you're gonna see these 5 layers. If you don't see the canvas pages, by the way, you can go to this little menu here, then down to preferences, and just make sure that canvas pages are enabled right here. And so basically, to customize this component for our own use case, we're going to have to mainly customize the main image here that has the logo of the company and some background elements, then the logo pattern, and then basically that's it. Maybe we can also tweak the diagonal because this black color in the middle is a little bit different all the time. So here we have a little bit different of a gray color, and this is the exact same color that we place right here for these darker parts of the linear gradient. You can see that here it's a little bit darker, matching what they had right here. But here I just wanted to use something a little bit more lighter, and this is why I used that other gray color here in the linear gradient as well. But mainly, yeah, we are just assembling this right here on the main image. By the way, you can just press down Option on your keyboard and drag it like this, and you can create your own version here. This is really simple, nothing too crazy. I'm not going to show you how to do it because it's really simple. These are just frames. As you can see, you can like move them around with your arrow keys. So it's really like, just assembling something cool on the canvas with like these design elements like frames and stuff like that. You can see that this frame has like a linear feel, it has some shadows on the side, and it is rotated. So yeah, it is pretty simple. Just put together something that you like, and then you can actually export it as a PNG. So this is what I'm going to do with this. I'm going to go to export, and then I'm going to export it and put it to the desktop, and it's going to be called main image. Perfect. And now we can move on to the pattern. So to customize this, I made it really simple for you. You just have to select all of these SVG components and paste in your own SVG code on the right panel. So for example, I can just get the framer's logo SVG, and then I can just make sure to open these down on the left panel. And then I can select all of these SVG components. And once I have them, I'll just have to go to the right panel, replace the code, and you're going to see that now we have these framer logos here. So again, it's really simple to just place in your own logo or some other company's logo right here. By the way, if you don't know how to get your SVG code, you can just go to Figma, right click your logo, and go copy as SVG. And that's it. Then back in Framer, you can just select all of your SVG components on the left panel, and then you can paste in the code here on the right. As you can see, the Framer logo that we saw in Figma is now pasted into this design right here. We pretty much don't have to mess around with the rainbow. It is just a rainbow. And then the diagonal, as I said, you might want to change this darker color to the color that you have on this card and on this card as well as the background. So these colors right here, here, and here are basically matching. And then the highlight is nothing special, just a radial fill. So now let's assemble all of these inside of a component. Before I do that, I'm going to also export the pattern as a PNG. So I'm going to go export and then to the desktop. So now we can get started. So I'm going to go to pages and then to tutorial. By the way, you can go to starter and you're going to see the same thing that I'm seeing right here, and you can start building with me. So basically, we're going to just start by drawing a frame right here. This frame will be set to a stack, so this layout will be activated on the right panel. And then I'm going to also make sure that it doesn't have a fair color. Then I'm going to also rename it on the left to card. Then I'm going to make sure to just drag and drop the image that we exported, the main image, and I'm going to drag it within the frame that we created. It seems like I cannot really do it here on the canvas, so I'm going to do it on the layers panel. So I'm going to just drag it within the card. And now you can see that it is nicely within the card stack. So I'm going to resize it, find a size that works great, maybe 280 for the width. And then I can set the card to fit content width and fit content height, so it is nicely matching the size of this main image. Then we can add some stroke to this card on the right, so here border, and just give it this 6 maybe. And then I'm gonna round the corners, 24 probably will look pretty nice. So yeah, this is the base, and now we can layer these on top of the main image. So I'm gonna start with the pattern. So let's go back to here, and I'm going to just drag and drop it here again to my canvas that I exported. I'm going to press Command and X to cut it, and then select the card and press Command and V to paste it within. Now, as you can see, since the card is a stack, these are both positioned relatively, and I can reorder them with the arrow keys. But what I want to have is like, stacking on top of each other. So to achieve that, I will have to set the pattern to absolute positioning. And this way it will be placed on top of the main image. So I'm going to press Option H and V to center it. Then I'm going to also make sure that all these pins are deactivated. And then I'm going to set the relative to 100% and the height to 100% as well. so it will nicely fill up the available space. On the right panel, I can set the z-index to 1, which it already is, so it's pretty good. And then we can set the opacity to a lower value, so it reveals the background. I'm going to set it to 0.2, and then I'm going to make sure to move it on top of the main image. It's not really important how they are like ordered on the layers panel, because we are defining their, stacking on the z-index. So elements with higher z-index will appear on other elements that have lower z-index. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that the pattern is wrapped in another frame. So I'm going to press Command and Enter. This will wrap it in a frame. I'm going to rename it to Hollow, because these will contain all of the elements that will add this holographic effect to this card. This hollow frame will be set to absolute positioning, and all of these pins will be activated with 0 pins. And then what we're going to do with this hollow is that we're going to set it to blending mode, color dodge. And yeah, basically that's it. Now you can see that the pattern is no longer that visible, but it's fine. We're going to start seeing it a little bit later. So now we can just go back to the assets, and I'm going to copy the rainbow. Then here I'm going to select the hollow. I'm going to press Command and V to paste it within. I'm going to center it to Option H and Option V, and then I'm going to deactivate all of these pins, and we're going to set the width to relative and then the height to relative as well. And we're going to set both the width and the height to 160%. So it's always going to be slightly bigger than the card itself. Then we're going to make sure that the z-index is 2, which is already set, so it's pretty good. And as you can see, nothing else has to be adjusted on the right panel, since the opacity is already set, the fill is already set, the blending is also set, and the z-index is also set. So basically we're all good right here. But one thing I just realized is that the reason why we cannot see these pattern and the rainbow is because this hollow that we wrapped them in is not set to z-index 1, so it's now below the main image. So if I set the main image to hidden, then we're going to actually see them. So I'm just going to have to set the hollow to z-index 1 so it appears over this main image. So now I can go back again to assets, and I'm going to copy the diagonal as well. I'm going to paste it within the hollow, and again I'm going to deactivate all of the pins, center it with Option H and Option V, set it to relative width and height, and set both to 160%. Now we need one more element, which is the highlight. So I'm going to copy that as well, and I'm going to paste it within the hollow again. I'm going to center it with Option H and V and deactivate all of the pins, and then make it a little bit smaller. And now we have this. It looks quite okay. We will probably have to make this a little bit more subtle, so we're able to play with the opacity of the hollow frame. But we also have to make sure that these are actually moving. But first, I might just want to turn this card into a component so we can add the hover state, because by default we're not going to see this hollow effect only when we hover over the cards, as you can see right here. So let's turn the card into a component. Just right click and create component, and then here on the primary state we're going to change the opacity to 0, and then on the hover we're going to set it to 0.5, and basically that's it. We're going to be able to play around with the opacity a little bit more later, but for now it is good. So as you can see, when I hover over, it appears. But I think we also have to adjust the transition so it is slightly slower when it appears. As you can see, it has a much better effect like this. It is flashing a little bit. Okay, it's no longer flashing. Okay, very cool. So now to make the layers move, we're going to use the Parallax floating component. Just open Framer University, go to resources and search for floating. You're going to find the Parallax floating component. You can copy it and then just paste it into your project. When you paste it, you're going to see that it is just an invisible component. It's like a little dot. And now it's pasted within the highlight, which is actually good because we want to move that as well. Basically, the layer that you pasted within will have this effect, which is basically that it is following your cursor. It also has these properties on the right panel, so you can change the direction, so it's either moving toward your cursor or away from your cursor, so either in the direction of your cursor or in the opposite direction. You can also change the speed and the smoothing. So for the highlight, I want to have maximum speed. and I want to move it with my cursor, so toward my cursor. Then I'm going to paste it into diagonal as well, because we want to move that too. Then here the speed will not be 1000. I don't know why I said 1000. I think we're going to have 100 here. And then for the diagonal, we're going to have something like 50. And then it is going to go away. And then for the rainbow, we're going to have toward and 50. So we can take a look at this. And yeah, it looks pretty good. It is moving really nicely. What I'm thinking is that now that I set it to 1000, I don't even know if we can set 1000 here. I don't know if it's going to have... Oh yeah, it is following... You can see that the highlight, the main highlight, is following my cursor a little bit more. I don't know if you can actually see that, but here, for example, let me just... Yeah, here is the highlight right now, and it's following the cursor much more. So I actually like it a little bit more. I thought that 100 is the max. But yeah, no, we can go further. So yeah, this is better. And now it is just a matter of like playing with opacity and some other values here. And also, of course, we're gonna have to add the 3D hover effect. For that, it's pretty simple. We just have to grab this component we created, place it here outside of the breakpoint, then go back to Framer University again, search for 3D hover, and we're gonna copy this component, paste it inside of our desktop breakpoint, and just simply connect it to our card. And that's it. We can customize this as well on the right panel. And then once we have that, our card will be nicely having this 3D hover effect. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just slightly customize the card that we created. So I'm going to probably make the image a little bit darker. The great thing about Framer is that you can customize our images right inside Framer, right on the canvas, by just adding styles on the right panel. So I'm going to set a filter on it, maybe contrast. It's going to be a little bit higher, maybe 105. And then I'm going to copy this color here, because then I want to make sure that the background color is also having that same color. And then I'm going to probably make sure that this effect is not that strong. So the rainbow will probably be dropped in opacity. So maybe we're going to have something like this. I'm going to check what if I set the highlight to a little bit bigger number, maybe 0.8. But make sure that, as you can see, I'm making a mistake right here. You have to make sure that you make these adjustments always on the primary variant, because that way it will adjust it on the primary and the hover state as well. So I just wanted to drop the opacity of the rainbow to 0.4, and then the highlight will be adjusted slightly. And yeah, let's take a look at this now. And yeah, it looks pretty cool. I love it. Maybe to make the highlight, the main like radial gradient highlight, a little bit smoother, we can add blur to it. So filters and blur. I'm going to just set it to 20 or 15. And then maybe I can bump it up to like 1 opacity. Maybe blur it a little bit more, like 20. Let's see how that feels. And yeah, I think it's pretty cool. Still feel like that this could have a little bit more movement on the linear gradient layers. So I'm going to just select the diagonal and the rainbow, and more importantly, the parallax floating components within them. I'm going to set the speed of these to a little bit higher. Well, maybe we're going to have 100. So they're going to move a little bit faster. So we're going to have a more interesting effect, I think. And yeah, it looks much better. Yeah, so basically we created this effect in Framer without writing any code. So yeah, that's it for this video. I really do hope that it was helpful. Make sure to leave your questions in the comments. And yeah, go to Framer University for other resources and remixes. Like this video, subscribe for more, and I'm gonna see you in the next one.